The topic we want to share this morning is already on the board.
Àkọlé tí a lò ó ti wà lójú pátákó.
How will I be remembered?
Báwo ni a ó ṣe ṣe ìrántí mi sí? Tàbí kí ni a ó máa ṣe ìrántí mi fún?
How will you want this church to remember you?
Báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ kí ìjọ ìgbó máa rántí rẹ? Tàbí kí ni kán máa ṣe ìrántí rẹ fún?
The word remember there is a past tense.
Àwọn tá a lò fún ìrántí ó jẹ́ lórí ohun tí ó ti kọjá.
That means it's hard to remember somebody when he's with you.
Ó fẹ́ dàbẹ̀ ni pé ó nira láti rántí ènìyàn tó bá ṣì wà pẹ̀lú rẹ̀.
It is our custom that when somebody died, you remember, or when they want to bury the person, they call family members, they call village people, they call church members to come and testify the kind of life the person lived when he was alive.
Ó ti di àṣà. Nígbà tí ènìyàn bá kú, ìfẹ́ láwọn àgbègbè ẹbí rẹ̀ lóyá o, ẹ wá máa sọ ohun tí ẹ mọ̀ nípa ìgbésí ayé rẹ̀.
This means we cannot see the function of person or what the value of somebody when it is with us.
Ó ní wọ́n ti pé ó ṣeé ṣe pé nígbà tí ènìyàn bá pẹ̀lú rẹ̀, ó ní mọ iye rẹ̀.
The word remember tells you and I this morning.
Ọ̀rọ̀ tá a pè ní ìrántí ó ń sọ fún wa àti èmi ní òwúrọ̀ yìí.
That later, when I am not with you or when you are not with me,
Pé tó bá yá tí ìwọ tí o wà pẹ̀lú mi mọ́ tàbí tí èmi ò sí pẹ̀lú rẹ̀ mọ́.
there might be some maybe discussion or something happen, then I will remember you or you remember me.
Àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ yóò ṣẹlẹ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ yóò wáyé, ìwọ yóò rántí mi, èmi náà yóò sì rántí rẹ̀.
We are working, or maybe the same thing where you are working.
Níbi tí èmi tàbí ìwọ tí a ti gbé ṣiṣẹ́.
Now the day you put reservation in later and they conclude that you will be going, they will gather your colleagues so that they will say so many things about you, how you work with them.
Ọjọ́ tí o bá fẹ́ fiṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ ní gbogbo àwọn tí ẹ ti jọ ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ yóò wá kóra jọ pọ̀ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọ àwọn tó ń mọ̀ nípa rẹ lójú ayé rẹ.
Let us look at this man. It's a familiar story that we have been hearing about our text this morning.
Àkòrí ẹ̀kọ́ wa ti òwúrọ̀ yìí ó wọ́pọ̀.
In 2 Kings chapter 20 verses 3.
Ìwé ọba kejì orí ogún ẹsẹ̀ kẹta. Èmi bẹ̀ ọ́, Olúwa, rántí nísinsìnyí bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ti rìn níwájú rẹ nínú òtítọ́ àti nínú àyà pípé tí mo sì ti ṣe èyí tí ó dára ní ojú rẹ. Èsìkáyà sì sọkún gidigidi.
I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. The story is a familiar story, as I've already said.
A ti sọ ìtàn tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ ni.
When you go to chapter 8,
Ní orí ìkẹjọ ìwé yìí,
or sorry, chapter 18,
ní orí kejìdínlógún,
from verses 1 to 7,
láti ẹsẹ̀ kìíní sí ìkeje,
write it down, you read it at home.
ẹ kọ sílẹ̀ ẹ kà nílé.
You see why this man was able to tell God, remember how I walk.
Ẹ ó rí ìdí tí ọkùnrin tó fi ní ìgboyà láti kọ Ọlọ́run lójú pé rántí ohun tí mo ti ṣe náà.
That means people will not remember our faces, our structure most of the time. It's only what we do that people will remember us.
Ó túmọ̀ sí pé ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà òpupa dúdú okúrú ọ̀gá ni àwọn èèyàn ní rántí o.
Maybe even though they remember that, yes, Rawisi was very fair, handsome, it might not last, but what I was doing would be what people would, that would last in our memory.
Ẹ̀bùn ẹ̀ pé ó lè máa ní pé arákùnrin Wísì olóhùn pupa, pé arákùnrin Wísì pupa, ó dẹ̀ rẹwà, wọ́n lè má rántí yẹn lọ títí, ṣùgbọ́n ohun tí ó ṣe ni wọ́n yóò máa rántí.
If I enter some place, I'm a fair person. I'm not black. If I enter some places, there are some people that are darker than me, so I will be fair there. Don't mind me.
All right, go on.
So, what is important in life is our actions.
Ohun tó ṣe pàtàkì nínú ayé náà ni ìwà àti ìṣe wa.
So this man was able to tell God. If you read the story, maybe from verse 1, if you read the story of his life, he was able now when he's sick today, and God sent a prophet to go and tell him, prepare your house, keep your house, because you are not coming down from the bed, you are going to die.
Tábàkà láti ẹsẹ̀ kìíní, Ezekiah ṣe àìsàn. Ọlọ́run rán wòlíì sí palẹ̀ ilé rẹ̀ mọ́, o ò ní dìde kíkó ló máa kú.
And the account says Ezekiah turned face and faced the wall.
Àkọsílẹ̀ sọ wípé Ezekiah ó dojú rẹ̀ kọ ògiri.
And made this statement, remember how I walk.
Gbólóhùn ọ̀rọ̀ kan péré, rántí bí mo ti ṣe rìn.
We are not to tell the story of the kings of Israel one by one this morning. Maybe some of us are familiar. How some of them, after God have delivered them, bring them to a promised land, some of them turn back and worship idols that they were made with their hands.
Àkókò ní gbà wá láti sọ ìtàn àwọn ọba Ísírẹ́lì, àwọn tẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́ ìtọ́lọ́ ti gbà wọ́n kó ìlú oko ẹrú, kìnnà pàyìndà sí Ọlọ́run tí wọ́n sì ń sin òrìṣà.
But this man Ezekiah,
Ṣùgbọ́n Peter pé Ezekiah yìí,
he did not do that according to the accounts.
kò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àkọsílẹ̀ ti ṣe sọ fún wa.
Another familiar story in the book of Genesis, chapter 19.
Ìtàn mìíràn tó tún wọ́pọ̀ tó gbajúgbajà ìwé Genesis orí ìkàndínlógún.
Can somebody read the place? Verses 29.
So when God destroyed the city.
Genesis 19, 29.
So when God destroyed the cities of the plain, He remembered Abraham, and He brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the city where Lot had lived. 30.
It's okay.
Ìwé Genesis orí ìkàndínlógún ẹsẹ̀ kan ìkàndínlọ́gbọ̀n sọ pé nígbà tí Olúwa tó ti pa ìlú Sódómù àti Gòmórà run, ó rántí Ábúráhámù, ó sì mú Lọ́ọ̀tì jáde kó inú ìparun ìlú náà.
Why am I bringing this verse?
Kí ló tàbí lu ẹsẹ̀ yìí?
God remember Abraham. Was Abraham in the land of Sodom?
Ọlọ́run ti Ábúráhámù, ṣé Ábúráhámù ṣé ó ń gbélu Sódómù níbí?
But he had somebody there.
Ṣùgbọ́n Ábúráhámù ní ẹbí níbẹ̀.
So that means there are some things I do that will affect you.
Yẹn tó máa sọ pé àwọn kan wà tí máa ṣe tó máa kàn ẹ́ gbọ̀ngàn.
If I do good, sometimes it affects you.
Tí n bá ṣe rere, ó lè kàn ẹ́ o.
If I do wrong, sometimes it affects you.
Tí n bá wá tún ṣe bí, ó lè pa àwọn náà rárá.
So now it remains for me to know that what I'm doing involves me and the next person.
Kó o mọ̀ dájú pé ohun tí ò ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, ó kàn ẹ́, ó kàn ní tó súnmọ́ ẹ̀.
In the book of 1 Samuel chapter 1,
Sámúẹ́lì kìíní orí ìkíní,
I want somebody to read verses 7
ẹsẹ̀ keje,
and 11,
àti ẹsẹ̀
then
kọkànlá.
19.
Àti
Verse
ẹsẹ̀
7.
This went on year after year. When Anna went up to the house of the Lord, a rival provoked her till she wept and would not eat. Verse 11. And she made a vow, saying, Lord Almighty, if you will only look on your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head.
19.
19. Early the next morning, they arose and worshipped before the Lord, and then went back to their own at Ramah. Elkanah made love to his wife Anna, and the Lord remembered her.
And the Lord do what? And the Lord do what? Remember Anna.
Elikana ó sì mọ aya rẹ̀ Olúwa sì rántí rẹ̀.
The last person that I want to remember me is God.
Ẹni tí màá fẹ́ kó rántí mi jù òun náà ni Ọlọ́run.
For me and you,
Fún wa àti èmi,
if I do 100 good things for you,
tí bá ṣe rere ọgọ́rùn-ún fún ọ,
and when once I do one bad,
tí mo bá ṣe bí ẹyọ kan,
the 100 good thing has gone.
mo mọ̀ pé ire ọgọ́rùn-ún tí mo ṣe fún ọ yẹn ó ti fò dànù.
So my expectation is not much from human.
Mi ò retí ohun tó pọ̀ látọ̀dọ̀ rẹ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ènìyàn.
So the last person that all of us should fear, the last person all of us should expect to remember us is God.
Ẹni tí gbogbo àmà máa retí wípé kó rántí wa òun ni Ọlọ́run wa.
Let me bring this adage from my place.
Òwe kan wà láti inú ìlú mi wá.
Our people use for our wives, but it is general.
Àwọn èèyàn wa wọ́n máa ń sọ nípa àwọn aya wa ṣùgbọ́n òwe tí ó kan gbogbo ènìyàn ni.
They say nǹkan ẹ̀bẹ̀ pápá àwọn ànáwó wà náà ẹ̀bẹ̀ kẹfọ́n. Until the husband die, it's there that you hear the wife begin to count and cry. The goodness of that man. When the man was alive, he was a foolish man. The man does not have value to the family. But when once the man died, you hear the woman crying, counting from the day one they got married till the day the man died.
Ìtumọ̀ òwe náà ni pé níwọ̀n ìgbà tí ọkùnrin bá ń bẹ láàyè bí ọkọ, aya rẹ̀ kò ní mọ rí rẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tó bá wá kú, ìyàwó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní sọkún, á máa sọ gbogbo rere tí ọkọ ẹ̀ tó ti gbé ṣe láyé o. Ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tó bẹ láyé, olórí burúkú olùṣí ọkùnrin.
But I want us to remember that God is not like human.
Mo fẹ́ ká rántí pé Ọlọ́run kì í ṣe ènìyàn.
He has keeping our records every day.
Gbogbo ọjọ́ ìṣẹ̀dá Ọlọ́run kọ ẹ̀.
This Anna, the account told us, we know the story of Samuel.
A mọ ìtàn Sámúẹ́lì dáadáa pẹ̀lú Anna ìyá rẹ̀.
Anna did not have any child.
Anna ò lọ́mọ.
Then until
Títí di ìgbà
he came back to God
tó tó wá padà lọ sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run.
and God remembered her.
Ọlọ́run sì rántí ẹ̀.
So many things that she did before this time.
Àìmọye tó ti ṣe ṣáájú àsìkò yìí.
Let's come back to the Butu Church of Christ.
Ẹ jẹ́ ká wá sí ibi Èkútú báyìí o.
In the New Testament, every time we remember about we talk about Judas, one record that he has. How do we remember him?
Bad.
He's a betrayer. Nothing, no good is said about this man.
Nínú májèmọ̀ tuntun, a kà nípa Júdásì. Orúkọ gbajúgbajà tá a máa rántí ẹ̀fọ́ kí ni irú èèyàn Júdásì jẹ́ ọ̀dàlẹ̀. Àárín ìkàrere mi ti Júdásì ṣe.
That is the record we have about him.
Àkọsílẹ̀ tá a rí nípa ènìyàn.
But for me,
Ṣùgbọ́n fún èmi tí mo bá yín sọ̀rọ̀,
I don't know whether that man did not do any good thing for his life.
mi ò lè sọ. Mo mọ̀ pọ́kùnrin máa ti ṣe ohun rere kan nínú ayé ẹ̀.
But one thing he has done, one action remain up till today.
Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn burúkú kan tí ó hù, ó dúró títí dòní.
Generation to generation, if God tarries, his story remains.
Láti ìran dé ìran bí Jésù bá fà bọ̀ rẹ̀ sẹ́yìn, ìtàn yẹn wà bákan náà.
I don't know. Maybe that is how I want God to remember me at the end of the day.
Mi ò mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mi fẹ́ kọ́ lọ kó rántí mi ní ìkẹyìn ọjọ́ nìyẹn o.
If I slum and die now, is it how these brethren would remember me?
Ṣé bí mo ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, tí bá dìbò lẹ̀ tí mo kú, ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ṣé ojú ọmọ àbí rántí mi nìyẹn bí?
If God keep me alive and I walk at the end, I move and leave this place, how will you remember me?
Ṣùgbọ́n tí wọ́n bá dá mi sí tí mo kú níbí ṣípò lọ sí ibòmíràn, báwo lẹ́yìn ti ṣe rántí mi?
If you, at the end of the day, you leave a Butu, how will a Butu remember you?
Ìwọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan tó bá fi jọ yìí lẹ̀ lónìí kí ni wọ́n fi rántí rẹ̀?
Well, as I was saying,
Bí mo ti ṣe sọ,
I don't know how we can turn the clock
mi ò mọ̀ bá a ṣe fẹ́ yí ọwọ́ aago.
so that we can start remembering people when they are with us. We see their value than when they leave us.
Kábẹ́ẹ̀sì ní rántí àwọn èèyàn nígbà tí wọ́n ṣì wà láàrin wa ṣùgbọ́n ìgbà tó bá kúrò ní ká máa rántí wọn.
I want to believe what I'm saying this morning is not a new thing to us.
èmi fẹ́ gbàgbọ́ pé tí mo sọ lónìí kì í ṣe tuntun sí wa.
The topic itself, this might not be the first time you heard it.
àkọlé ẹ̀kọ́ yìí gan ó lè má jẹ́ bá àkọ́kọ́ ní ìjọ gbọ́.
But I want to remind us
ṣùgbọ́n mo fẹ́ rán wa létí.
another story. Maybe I will end there.
ìtàn míì mo tún fẹ́ sọ bóyá bẹ̀ láti dára dúró.
In Matthew 25,
Mátíù orí ìkẹẹ̀dọ́gbọ̀n.
it's a familiar story too. Maybe from 34 or so.
láti ẹsẹ̀ kọkànléníọgbọ̀n lọ sísàlẹ̀.
The story is about Jesus Christ.
ìtàn nípa Kristi Jésù.
He said when he was preaching,
ó wàásù.
he turned eye and looked at people
ó wo àwọn ènìyàn.
and said,
sọ pé
when I was sick, you did not visit me.
nígbà tí mo ṣàárẹ̀ ẹ ò bẹ̀rù wò.
You see me with rag, you did not change my clothes.
mo wà kísà aṣọ ẹ ò fún mi láṣọ.
It counts so many things that you are aware or familiar with.
ó ka ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tàbí gbogbo táwọn náà ti mọ̀ sílẹ̀.
And people then turn eye and look at the man
wọ́n wá yí padà wọ́n wá wò wọ́n bí léèrè.
and say, Master,
ọ̀gá
me, I never see you.
mi ò ní lẹ́ parọ́ o ṣùgbọ́n mi ò gbà kan rí yín o.
Oh God, be like say you dey lie. Me and you never cross ourselves.
ọ̀gá yẹ́yẹ́ pé ìfẹ́ máa mú rọ́mọ́rọ́ yín báyìí èmi ò gbà kan rí yín rí.
The man look at them
ọ̀gá wá wò wọ́n.
and said, when you do it to these people you are seeing,
tẹ́ ẹ bá ti ṣe fún àwọn tí ẹ̀ ń wò yìí
you do it to me.
ẹ ṣe fún mi.
And he look at other saints
ó tún wá wo àwọn mìíràn.
and said, that time I was hungry, you were the one that gave me food.
gbàtẹ́bí ń pa mí ìwọ ló fún mi lóúnjẹ.
Bros, you come to hospital, you visited me.
báwo ṣàárẹ̀ ó wá sílẹ̀ ìbò ẹ̀mí wò.
And those people were shocked.
ó wá tún yà àwọn yẹn náà lẹ́nu.
So no, a bit like say na another person, no be me o.
ọ̀gá ṣé o ti máa ṣara bóyá lómi ìlérí kì í ṣe mi o.
And he said, no,
ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́.
when you do to those people around you,
tó o bá ti ṣe fún àwọn tó yí ọ ká.
you did it to me.
ó ti ṣe fún mi.
So true,
nítòótọ́
we are the image of God.
àwa ni àwòrán Ọlọ́run.
So we are God representatives.
àwa ni aṣojú Ọlọ́run.
We are God ambassadors.
àwa ni ikọ̀ Ọlọ́run.
So how will you remember me when I come out?
tí n bá kó mi bó ló ṣe rántí mi.
If I leave you, our people say again, he say, he don't tell we no see. It's better than, Oga, do you remember what you do me?
àwọn èèyàn máa ń sọ wípé ó ti pẹ́ tá a ti ríra ó sàn jù pé ṣé o rántí ibi tó ṣe fún mi lọ.
Agbẹ̀ni igi gbúdọ̀ fọ́nà kan, àbẹ̀tẹ̀yẹsẹ̀ kẹ́ńnà. It's better.
ó sàn.
Maybe they say, don't tell we no see.
ká sọ pé ó ti pẹ́ tá a ti ríra.
So that the time when we go see, you no go tell me, bro, we see. Do you remember what you do me?
ó yẹ gbígbà tá a bá yàrá ló máa sọ pé arákùnrin Wilson ṣé o rántí ibi tó ṣe mí.
I was saying I'm not going to take too much time.
mo sọ pé mi nígbà kó.
We have already known all these stories.
a ti mọ gbogbo ìtàn yìí.
I'm only come out here to remember me, to remind you
mo wá síbi láti rán ẹ létí.
and remind myself
láti rán ara mi létí.
that there is a memory,
pé ìrántí wà o.
there is record
àkọsílẹ̀ wà.
about my life and your own.
nípa ìgbésí ayé àti tèmi.
At the end of the day,
ní òkú gbogbo ẹ̀.
that God will tell us,
Ọlọ́run yóò wá sọ fún wa.
He said, my child,
ọmọ mi
you have done well
ó ti ṣe dáadáa.
because there is record.
torí pé àkọ
There
àkọsílẹ̀.
will be remembrance.
ìrántí wà.
Today,
lónìí
at the end of the day,
ní òpin ọjọ́
we will do memorial feast.
nígbà tí a bá ń ṣe àṣìrántí.
That tells us that there will be remembrance.
ìyẹn bí i pé nítòótọ́ ìrántí yóò wà.
When the young man finish everything he has done,
nígbà tí ọ̀dọ́mọkùnrin tó parí ogun tí ó ti ṣe.
he look at his followers.
ó wo àwọn tó tẹ̀lé.
He said, do this.
nípa ilé ìdí.
Keep on doing it
ẹ máa ṣe é.
in my memory
ní ìrántí mi.
till I come back.
títí bí ó fi padà wá.
So today,
lónìí.
I'm reminding ourselves this morning.
àánú àwa létí lóòrọ̀ yìí.
In your compound,
ní agboolé tó ń gbé.
in your workplace,
níbi tó ti ń ṣiṣẹ́.
in a Butu Church of Christ,
nínú ìjọ kútù yìí.
in your neighborhood,
ní àdúgbò tó wà.
if you live,
níbi tí o gbé.
at the end of the day, you meet with somebody that were with you.
tí tí ọba wa yàtọ̀ bá wọn tó ti bá gbé pàdé.
How will that person remember you?
bọ́ọ̀lù yẹn yóò ṣe rántí ẹ o.
What record have you written down?
àkọsílẹ̀ wo ló ti fi lélẹ̀?
I pray
ó gbàdúrà.
that God who created us
pé ọlọ́run tó dá wa.
will keep on reminding us.
yóò tẹ̀sán láti máa rán wa létí.
He will keep on telling us that we have a record.
yóò tẹ̀sán láti máa sọ fún wa pé à ń ní àkọsílẹ̀.
That our life every day is being recorded.
pé ìgbésí ayé rẹ lójoojúmọ́ à ń kọ sílẹ̀.
And He will give us power.
yóò ti fún wa ní agbára.
He will give us the strength
yóò fún wa ní ọkàn.
so that we keep a good record.
kí a bá lè ní àkọsílẹ̀ èdè rẹ̀.
That people will remember us for good
tí àwọn yóò fi lè rántí wa sí
and
dáadáa.
not for bad.
tí kì í ṣe sí àìdá.
May the Lord hear us in Christ's name.
kí olúwa yóò dáhùn wa kó sì fi agbára fún wa lórúkọ Jésù Kristi olúwa wa.
Amen.